Good morning, readers. Well, today is a special day. It is release day for Without Foresight, which is the 12th book in the Reg Rollins series. It can be read as a standalone or enjoy it with the rest of the series. First book in the series, What the Cat Knew, you can download that one for free, or you can get the first three in the series for $2.99 for a limited time. So you can check out my website for those offers. And my blog post includes links to those offers as well as, of course, Without Foresight and a number of other new releases that you might be interested in. So head on over there after you watch my video and pick up some new reads. And as usual, I thought I would do a reading today. So this is from the first chapter of Without Foresight. Reg looked with dismay at the broken eggshells and dried egg white and yolk that covered her door and doorstep. Who would egg her cottage? Teenagers? Somebody who didn't like a psychic reading she'd given them? Maybe it was a mistake meant for one of her neighbors rather than her. It wasn't like she was involved in urban warfare with somebody in the neighborhood. She couldn't imagine why she'd been singled out for the honor. Sarah returned from the big house with a bucket of soap and water and a scrub brush. She shook her head, lips pressed together grimly. "This is reprehensible," she said. "Vandalism! Who in Black Sands would do something like this?" "I don't know. I can't understand it. Maybe it was a mistake." Reg floated the theory to see what Sarah thought of it. Sarah scowled. "It was a mistake, all right. And you can bet that if I catch whoever did it, they're going to know how big a mistake it was." "I meant maybe it was meant for someone else, not me." "I don't know. I just know that it's here now and it needs to be cleaned up." "I'll do it." Reg tried to take the cleaning supplies from Sarah. "It's my door. You don't need to do that." "It's your rental. It's my cottage. It's my responsibility as the property owner to keep it in good condition." "Yes, but this wasn't your fault." "It isn't yours either." Sarah wet her scrub brush and started in on the door. Reg stood there feeling helpless and guilty. She wished that Sarah would use magic to clean off the egg instead of manual labor. She didn't like the old woman having to do a job like that. Whatever Sarah said, Reg knew that the fault lay with her, and she should be the one to do the work to clean it up. "Why don't you pick up the eggshells?" Sarah suggested. "Okay, I can do that." Reg went back into the cottage to get a garbage bag. Starlight looked up from the patch of sunshine he was lounging in and made an inquiring sound. "Someone threw eggs at the house," Reg told the Tuxedo Cat. "I can't believe it. I don't know why anyone would do that." He cocked his head at an angle, looking puzzled. Reg tried to figure out how to explain it to him. Rather than using words, she opened up her feelings to him. He sat up abruptly and looked toward the door. Reg nodded and sighed. She got the garbage bag and went back outside to help with the cleanup. She painstakingly picked up all of the eggshells she could find on the ground and doorstep. There was something on a large flat rock in the side garden, and she stopped to look at it. "Sarah?" Sarah put down her equipment and walked over to Reg, arching and rubbing her back. She looked down at the rock where Reg had found several melted candles and markings, including a roughly painted figure that looked like a woman with a bird's body. Sarah picked up the candles one at a time and put them into Reg's garbage bag. She examined the markings and looked back at Reg. "What does it mean?" Reg asked. Sarah pointed to the bird woman. "It's a siren." "A siren?" Reg puzzled over it. "But it's a bird. I thought that sirens were more like mermaids." "They're often represented in early art as birds," Sarah shrugged. "Clearly, actual sirens cannot fly. It's metaphorical, maybe because of their song. But they're not mermaids either. While they operate in the sea, they can't live and breathe underwater." Sarah stared down at the picture, trying to understand what it all meant. "So, does that mean that someone knows about me? That my mother was part siren?" Reg couldn't bring herself to say that she herself was part siren, or had siren instincts or powers. She was still trying to work that all out herself. But of course, that was what she meant. Sarah nodded her agreement. Someone knows about your heritage, and that is why you were targeted. These candles and that representation and the other symbols, it's a spell of protection. Against me? Against sirens, yes. And the eggs? Well, I guess their meaning is clear. Sarah shook her head. Witches are peaceful. They live in harmony with nature and their communities. She looked back at Ridge's door. They don't engage in this kind of hate. But obviously they had. They hadn't been satisfied with a spell to protect themselves from sirens. They had to take it further. They had to make a personal gesture against her, too, to make sure Reg knew that they did not appreciate her presence in Black Sands. Should I? What should I do? Sarah raised her eyebrows in query. I mean, should I? Is there something I can do? Should I just ignore it? Should I try to find out who did it and tell them to knock it off, or I'll turn them into the cops or their coven? Should I leave? You can't leave, Sarah protested immediately. No, that wouldn't be right. You can't let them force you out. Just ignore it. I'm sure that once people have vented their worry, it will die down. They'll see that nothing has changed, realize that you're not hunting here and not a danger to them. Reg swallowed and nodded. She didn't like to think about how close she had come to doing harm, due to her siren instincts being inadvertently triggered. The people in Black Sands were right to be worried, but she wasn't going to give in to those instincts. Corbin said that the more she resisted them, the easier it would become. And considering his own predatory nature, he probably had a pretty good idea what he was talking about. Okay, so that is chapter 1 of Without Foresight, book number 12 in the Reg Rollins series. If you haven't already ordered your copy, it's available now, and I hope that you enjoy it. Talk to you next week.